Welcome to the Take It Home podcast. The podcast so bad we really should just take it home. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all social media at Doc Simmons17. I'm joined by two lovely men tonight. I'll give the hot tag to my partner to introduce himself.
Yes, sir. Zach Hendricks. All social media, Z Hendricks Brand. Of course, if you like Country Air, look us up at Country Air Official for Facebook and Instagram, or Country Air Brand for Twitter. Now give the pass off to the senior official.
I'm Perch. You can find me at Perch XLV # for the Ref Brand and Waffles Take It Home podcast.
Yes, I did have some waffles this week. Tried a new breakfast spot. They were pretty good. The waffles were good. At least.
Oh man, it's been a couple weeks since my last waffle. Can you describe the taste? Did you go with syrup on it?
I did go with syrup on it. Nice, crunchy outside, soft on the inside. I had steak and eggs with it and some potatoes. It was a very good, nice big man meal.
Yeah, it's a good meal right there.
Butter, you said, or no butter?
I don't do butter. I barely do syrup. I love waffles. Like I eat them plain.
Yeah, waffles plain are damn good.
Yeah.
tough not to. If there's no syrup there, it's
I'm good. Yeah, I'm
get it
completely
quick.
fine.
Get it quick because the waffle's gonna be gone.
Yeah. Like I don't have to wait for the syrup. So Perch, why don't you let us know what the banger of the week is and we can get this party going?
And banger of the week this week, one of my favorites of all time. Great performer, great musician, just a great personality all around. The song is "If I Can Dream" by Elvis.
Okay.
One of my favorites.
Not a big Elvis guy.
Ooh. I remember that picture we took next to that cardboard cutout from a couple years ago. I was putting you through some pain.
It's all right. I mean, just not for me. I know Roadhouse is a big Elvis fan, and maybe our rivalry has just made me hate Elvis more over the years.
Yeah, it could be. I wouldn't doubt that that's got something to play with it. But no, damn good musician, damn good showman. One of my faves. If I Can Dream, it's a good one. Damn good kind of gospel tune towards his later days. And man, he could really belt out some numbers.
Oh yeah,
A lot of inspiration.
Great voice. Just for some reason, just never vibed with it. I recognize his skill, it just never hit for me. But
yeah, I've always loved Elvis. And If I Can Dream.
Hey, you know what? I'll go ahead and add that on to the playlist that will eventually be made at some time. Working on it, slowly but surely. Okay. So let's move on and talk about what we've been watching this week. Why don't we start with Zach, because we were already kind of talking before the show started what he was watching.
Yes, I'm starting to watch more 90s wrestling, more 90s WWE, ECW, all the old stuff, and started 90s WCW. I'm watching on Peacock season 1, episode 1 of WCW Nitro, New Mall of America. It looks amazing. Just had Justin Liger take on Brian Pillman, senior now. Very entertaining. I didn't know the Forbidden Door was a thing back then, so learned something.
Knowledge is power.
Exactly. I watched some of the Monday Night Raw draft. I will say the announcing of Gable Steveson being drafted to Raw was caught me by surprise.
I think it surprised everybody.
Oh yeah, especially because he's like going right now to his college. He's right now in his senior year, I believe. amateur, like, well, college wrestling just started.
Mm.
So like it's like interesting to hear he got announced like right when season's starting for college wrestling. So that's pretty cool. He'll be like Minnesota WWE Raw superstar Gable Steveson. I always like watching him just because like grew up with him, so it's always fun to watch like that aspect. Watching AEW Dark. I know I was gonna see Anthony Henry versus freaking Eddie Kingston was a fun match to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely good to see these guys who kind of like got signed with WWE and like due to unfortunate circumstances, like, you know, kind of got cut earlier than they could have earlier than they should have liked to, earlier than they would like to. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out the right word because I mean, no one's fault there, just how the world works. But like seeing these guys still be able to thrive and get their opportunities is like great to see.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's pretty much sums up what I've been doing. 90s wrestling, and then some current stuff on TV today.
Alrighty. What about you, Perch? What you been watching?
Man, that last week of AEW got me pumped. That Adam Cole against Jungle Boy to start off, damn good match. Really enjoyed it, especially towards the end. They're going back and forth, both pretty equally matched, just good versus evil. And they roll back into the ring right as Aubrey Edwards is walking across the ropes, and an awesome little distraction spot for Cole to go up, get the low blow where the referee didn't see it and got the win. I really enjoyed seeing that match and a very satisfying ending. The Cody and Shotty Lee against Dante and Matt Sydal was a damn good match. Love the team of Sydal and Dante. Just a good crew. Want to see Darius come back and make that a 3-man team, or get the Sydal brothers in there and make it an 8-man team. But just a good matchup. Cody looked big in that match with 3 other guys who were a little bit smaller. You know, they end up getting the win. But then the best part was old coach Arn Anderson coming out.
Yeah.
And man, like I was saying, Cody looked big in that match because he's just a large man compared to those other guys. And if Arn Anderson didn't dress him down and make Cody look like the smallest guy in that entire arena, really just calling him out, that was one of the best promos I've seen, one of the best moments I've seen, and real emotion. The way Arn Anderson hit the gas pedal and that crowd was roaring. It got me out of my seat cheering as if the pack was on a drive.
No, definitely got a real reaction out of me. Whatever your thoughts are, like that was the right promo at the right time. If you didn't like that, you're wrong. Like, I'm sorry.
It was great, and the crowd was kind of turning on Cody going into it, and then Arn Anderson just poured a whole bucket of water over it. And yeah, that was awesome. I was cheering for Arn. Just didn't want him to stop. That kind of emotion. I mean, that was awesome. That was so cool to see. And yeah, that kind of took my attention for the week. That was the showstopper.
Hey,
that was the most.
I get it. That was really good. I too have watched AEW last week and loved the Arn Anderson promo. He's right. He was right. Cody's been unfocused, and I know that's something that we've brought up a couple times in those matches as things that didn't make sense. But Arn apparently was also paying attention that stuff didn't make sense. So that was very nice to see.
And the contrast that he had too, where at the end, turning his back on Cody and saying, "Come on, Lee, at least you listen."
Yeah.
He hit it all home with that comment. It was like an old gunslinger. Like, I'll take the boy because he'll listen. I'll take the young gun because he'll listen to me.
That was good. That was good. Catching up on some New Japan. I'm at the main event for the September 5th show. Shingo versus Evil. I'm probably going to put that on after this when I'm editing this down. Watch some more AIW matches on YouTube, just going through their library. Watched a Tyler Black versus long-haired Johnny Gargano match. It was very hard to recognize that man. Didn't know he did the long hair at one point. Also, I guess, before he really started lifting and cared about his body, he looks completely different. It was just wild to see, guys we see on TV now years ago. What else? I know I've watched a lot more. I've been watching some MLW because I'm a big Cesar Duran fan. TJP versus Davey Richards was really good. They had the bunkhouse brawl with the Von Erichs versus Kevin Koo and his partner. I forgot who his partner is, but that was good. Saw the Alex Kane debut with him just dropping homie on his head multiple times. My type of wrestling. Love it. Can't go wrong. But it's great to have MLW back. And like I said, I'm a big Cesar Duran, Dario Cueto fan, so I'll be paying attention to that. Okay. And I think we can just go ahead and talk about what we did this past weekend. It's a fun weekend. Travel as always. Zach, I think we probably had the shorter weekend. What did we do this weekend?
Well, yeah, what did we do? We just had one show. We went down to Oregon, Illinois, wrestled at Zawa for some Zawa tag titles, and Doc, tell them how it went.
Little Anakin Murphy, somebody who, we've talked on social media a bunch of times about wanting to work each other, wanting to get in the ring with each other. Well, he saw his chance and cost us those tag titles.
Yeah, what can we say? We had Stumpy and Matt
Hatter
where we wanted them. Everything was going according to the plan. We were setting up for Air Buddies. Hatter thought he would counter me by slipping behind and try to throw me into Doc. Little did he know, we've had that happen to us one too many times, so I didn't hit the pull. I slipped right through and nailed Stumpy with a nice suicide. Doc nailed him with the liquid sword, and Hatter did something that's frowned upon, especially I know with Perch. He grabbed the ref. And he didn't just grab the ref, he held a lock. His hands were locked on the ref.
Hey, you can't blame him. You get knocked out from a liquid sword, you stiffen up, you just reaching for whatever. So not gonna be mad at him for pulling the ref, but I am gonna be mad at Anakin for throwing a chair at my face. That's right.
Yeah, while the ref was distracted, Doc's not one for excuses, but he got 4 wisdom teeth pulled out. Did a pretty damn good job of not getting hit in the face at all.
Yeah.
He just turn around and get a chair thrown, not even hit, not even swung. You threw it like a baseball to his face. Like, you didn't have the respect to hold on to it. You got rid of it and threw it.
Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. So next month we will have a 6-man match. It'll be the Congregation of Reality versus Chiron, who got screwed over by them as well earlier in the night, and the Out of Town Shooters, your mama's favorite tag team, Country Air.
Bang, bang.
Yep, it'll be a good one. So be sure to keep posted on the socials for that. We'll be posting about it, I imagine, pretty soon. Perch, how was your weekend, brother?
And it was a really fun weekend. Kicked things off Friday night with AW at Bourbon Street. for defining moments. It was a really fun show. We did a AAW Alive taping right at about 6:15 to 7:15. And that was cool. We get to see a lot of different people, a lot of different talent from all across the U.S. And I worked with the competition from Maine for the second time, and really enjoyed those guys. Just a good brand of tag team, and it was a wild man match. 8 guys, I think 8 guys. It was a wild night of AAW. I had about 5 matches, and none of them were 1 versus 1. I think it was like a 6-man tag team match, and then a couple of 3-way matches, and a traditional tag, and a 6-man tag for the final. One of the cool matches in there was Christy Janes against Sky Blue against AK-47 for the women's championship. Gotten to work with Allison Kay once, years back at RCCW. That was a fun time. She was the NWA women's champion at the time. So this time around, she's the AAW champion against, someone like Sky, who, is part of the fam. Just really cool. And Christy Janes is an awesome wrestler too. And she really paid the price in this match by the end of it. Good brawl, traditional Bourbon Street brawl throughout the entire place, and a couple of suplexes on the bar top. And Sky was taking the brunt of it. Those girls really brought it. Great match. It ascended back into the ring. I took a helicopter kick right to the face, and I was out. I was down until I heard Christy Janes tapping out to Allison Kay. So was able to at least get my wits about me and call for the bell. Still the champion. Another match in there was Ace Austin against Myron Reed against Hakeem Zayn. A 3-way match for the other title that they have.
The Heritage?
Yep, the AAW Heritage title. And that was just wild. 3 guys who you always have to keep your head on a swivel because they're always going to be flying. And literally, at one point, Myron Reed just about flew right over the top of me from the stage. Yeah, great match, good action. And then the final main event was Fred Yehai teaming up again with Josh Alexander. Good versus evil, 2 sons of bitches who kicked the hell out of each other last month, teaming against Matt Fitchett and Shaft. Talk about a fiery team. Great action the entire time. Really good fight. A lot of brawl amongst them. A lot of good spite, spite and anger. Really enjoyed that match. Fred Yehai ended up picking up the win with a brain buster.
Ooh.
Always love that as a finish.
I could say Perch was very excited to count that 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, yep, and I always look into the eyes after the match, and yeah, that was a lights out, lights out brain buster. Yeah, just a good time, fun show all around. And then Sunday had the 3rd time the Midwest Wrestlers reunion was going on, and it was blessed to receive an award for the official of the year 2020. So that was a really cool thing. First year we went to honor Frank as he received his award. The next year we went to honor Bruiser as he received his award. And this time around, you know, we're all in different places and representing for the school and ourselves. And I had a show later that day, so I ended up going out solo, but saw everybody for the previous years, and just had a really good time getting to trade some old stories and mostly just listen to some good stories. Shout out to Hardcore Craig as one of the greatest just veterans that we've had in our time in the business, and he was a great light of inspiration that day. and he told me all about Cicero Stadium and how he had some great memories there, and we were talking about that because I was heading to Cicero Stadium for my first time ever later that afternoon for Sunday night, as Galley Lucha had a show. And man, Craig was right. The feeling inside that building was real. You can feel it in the atmosphere. Much like a Turner Hall in Milwaukee. Each city, each town has got its own culture, its own heartbeat to it, and you could feel it inside that stadium. Lots of great wrestling history has taken place there, and this night was like none other. Galley Mania was the show, the biggest galley show of the year. I got to do a couple matches. We had 5 referees. With lucha shows, either you have one or you've got 100. And I got the match with Atomico Jr. against Bryce Benjamin for the title. Great match, great finish too. Talk about a lights out. This was a hard fought drama, and a good ending to it. And the next match was Arez and Atamis against Gringo, Loco, and Golden Dragon for the tag titles. I was lucky enough to referee their match when Arez and Artemis won the titles a few months ago, and they defended them successfully on Sunday. Just a high-flying, wild match. I always learned so much working with that different style, that different culture. Lucha Libre on a Sunday is great learning and great training, great wrestling all around, and just good people. Loved hearing stories and talking about the night with everybody afterwards. So a great show and a great weekend.
Awesome. Good stuff, fellas. Good stuff. And I'm sure we'll have another awesome weekend this week. But we can go ahead and move on to the question I posed to the group a little bit ago. I did a interview last week with Toilet Side Wrestling Talk. You can find that on YouTube. But one of the questions he asked me was questions about my first match. And it just got me thinking about how my mindset has changed from my first match to now. We might have done this before, but even if we have, I think I will come back to this question throughout the years because I think it's important to, check our mental growth in the business. So for me personally, one thing and the reason why I thought about this is I can remember before stepping out of the curtain, do I know enough? Am I doing enough? You never feel like you're ready. And especially that first day, you definitely don't feel like you're ready. But I really remember worrying that I didn't know enough, or that I don't know enough and that I'm not doing enough. Now I've noticed it's more of am I doing too much? I think this is something that happens in a lot of sports or things that are competitive where You reach a point where you're starting to gain knowledge, and I don't want to say that hinders you, but you're trying to push the levels of what you know and apply that, and you want the return on the knowledge that you have. And I think now my worry is sometimes am I putting too much in at the time? I want everything to resonate that I do all the time, and if I'm giving you guys too much, you can't savor what I'm putting out there. That's what I was thinking. How about you, Perch?
Yeah, that's a great reflecting question. Always like, stringing things from, now till the beginning, just to always know where we come from, and to still treat every day, whether it's a show on the weekend or a camp day during the week, treat every day as if it was our first day again. Because I like to have that perspective. There's nothing like when you walk in and start, and everything is brand new. So to go back and think about the feelings that we may have had when we were brand new um, is really cool. I think a good exercise. Thinking back to the first time I ever walked out through the curtain, I remember what I was thinking, and it was how awful the smell of that meat and raw onions were backstage at that Watertown venue. Oh, cannibal sandwiches! My goodness, who does that? What is that? Why is that? And why backstage? I mean, that was. I'll never forget the thought I had my first time ever. But more importantly, the internal feelings and the mindset that I had, the pregame jitters, the pregame sweats, the butterflies. It's all still the same. But back then, I was more so just thinking, let me, hold on to the ride. I know this is going to go fast, so let me try and hold on and do everything I can while it's going on without skipping a beat. And that being said, I was going to rely on my instincts, because was there for, I was there for a reason, trained for it. And Bruiser told us, rely on your training, rely on instincts. So I was thinking that, as well as just try and make sure I'm able to hang on like it was a tube ride, on the lake. I knew it was going to be going, and I'm just going to do my best to make it through alive. And I think I tried to make the most out of that advice, and and after the first match, I survived, and was able to get some critique and feedback, and it wasn't the end of the world. And I'm like, you know what, this is a really cool feeling. I survived, so chances are I'll survive again. So now I can, hopefully make it go a little bit slower.
Yeah. Nice.
But if I were to think about the mind state now, I try to have everything as slow as possible and remain completely tranquil inside that ring.
Good.
To allow it to happen smooth, and it's not like I'm on a fast tubing ride anymore. It's nice and like calling balls and strikes like an umpire.
Good. All right, Zach. If you're there.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize I was muted. Yeah, I think very similar to you, Doc. Where like when I was first coming out, it was like, am I ready? I thought like, how do I enter? How do I what do I do for my entrance? Are these people gonna like me? Like are these people going to be a fan? Like, it was a lot like, am I going to be, how do I get myself over? Pretty much not forget, hope I don't forget nothing. To like now, it's like if first match, I could, if something happened, I wouldn't know how to get to B from A to C without B in the middle. Where now it's going into the future, it's like anything I do, like still like want everything that was possible, but I start thinking about, all right, well, if B doesn't work, what's option C, D, E going forward? And knowing that like what I've done in the last few years has been established, and being able to know when's the right moments to hit things and like how the crowd should react, where before you're putting together a match, you know, like you're going through them, or you're thinking all these cool moves, but you really don't know like that story, like you don't really understand the story you're telling now compared to what we're doing now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's just that maturing. Like I said, I think it's good to check on our mental, I guess, health of the business, and making sure that we're progressing mentally as well.
Yeah. And being able to like get into those weird spots where we're really like the leaders in the match, like
Yep.
realizing, kind of understanding where these people are coming from, because we were there 3 years ago.
Yeah.
200.
Still there. All right. It's going by pretty quick. Why don't we talk about what we got coming up this weekend? I guess we can go first. Fortunately, you've probably heard by now the Zella show on Friday has been postponed. That is upsetting, but keep your ears out for a new date. And then Saturday, we're headed to ARW again. What do you think about that, Zach?
ARW Pro Lake Station, not too far from where my parents live, so it's always kind of nice. Even though it's not a home game, it still has the home game feel. Not sure what we're doing. I know they announced a few tag teams are going to be there. So, I mean, ARW, if you're free, looking for a wrestling show Saturday night, ARW ain't that far of a drive. Come check out your mama's favorites, those out of town shooters, Country Air.
Yes, sir. And Perch, what you got lined up this weekend?
Saturday afternoon, Crusher Fest returns to South Milwaukee, Crusher Country. As 3:30 will be wrestling and a day of celebration as we celebrate pro wrestling and all that is Crusher. Really excited for that. And that's going to be on Saturday. And Sunday is going to be a Galley Lucha show down in Chicago. So right back to it, right back on the trail. Galley Mania was last weekend, so week 1 begins this weekend. So really looking forward to some good action. And yeah, unfortunate about the Turner Hall show being postponed. So was really looking forward to that as well. But we count our blessings every day and we pray for the best. And we'll be back.
Yep. Peaks and valleys, bro. Peaks and valleys. Zach, I believe you said you had a question.
I actually have 2 questions.
2 questions. Oh.
So, question number 1. With NXT 2.0 starting, like they have like all these new wrestlers debuting, a whole new fight feel, everything's new. Who is one NXT wrestler you are looking forward to growing on this brand, and why? Only one. I don't want to hear like I like this guy and this guy. Just want one.
I'm excited for Braun Breaker. I wish he didn't have the name change, but because of who his family is, I'm excited for him.
All right. Perch.
Cora Jade, straight up. From the first days of us setting up rings in Chicago, in the hallways with her, someone who, damn, any one of us can have an opportunity like this. So from standing shoulder to shoulder with her, I wish her nothing but the best and highest, and to break through that glass ceiling, so it shows all of us the inspiration that we can do it too.
Oh yeah, she's definitely like one. Like I watched her. I forgot to mention watched her match last night.
Frank versus Frankie Monet.
Oh yeah, definitely enjoyed it. And I'm gonna go with someone who debuted yesterday as well. I'm gonna go with Tony D'Angelo. I did a few seminars with him at GLCW. We did the Dustin Rhodes seminar together. We've done the Rikishi seminar together. I want to say he was at the Road Dogg seminar, and he's also done the Adam Pearce seminar. He used to go as his shoot name. He used to go by Joey. No, I'm not even trying to say it. I don't know his last name, but I know he's with Chucky in a camp match. It's awesome to see where he came, like when he started to where he is now. Having Val even ask, like, is he like, does he have like that accent for real? And like knowing him and like just the promos he's cutting and everything, just super entertaining to see that, like where he was to now. So I'm looking forward to watching him grow.
Nice. Yep. Home. The Midwest is putting on right now.
Yep. And then my other question is more of a fun question, but you know how AEW has the TNT title and the announcement tonight. If you're going to have a network, knowing that one of your belts is going to be made off that network, what network would you want your belt to be?
Oh man, what network represents my wrestling values?
Turner Classic Movies, right across a big old gold plate with some silver lining. I think we probably had a little MGM lion on a side plate, maybe a Paramount Mountain on the other side plate with a big old TCM Turner Classic Movies championship would be for mine. Vintage looking too.
I think I'm gonna go with, not necessarily because they represent my wrestling values, but I think a belt with their colors would be good, is Cartoon Network. Because I really like the all black Black Wrestlers Matter belt, and I've always enjoyed the like white leather that WWE uses on a lot of their belts. So I think a nice black and white belt could be super sexy.
Right. And I would go I don't know, I guess I would probably go Comedy Central, just because the old logo with the world and all that. I feel like that would be a good just center plate. You don't need anything else. You just use the whole logo as the plate. Pretty solid championship. And then I don't know what I put on the sides. Maybe some South Park and some other classics. But yeah, I think I'll go with Comedy Central.
Yeah, it's a good one. Good question. Yes, very timely. I'm excited for the TBS title. Excited for a chance to see more of the women get a chance to shine. They deserve it right now. Perch, did you have a question?
Yeah, if I were to say a question, is there one matchup, any wrestler or any matchup, tag team of any sort that is on a card that is upcoming that you are most looking forward to, whether it's on TV or on an independent show, or even on a show that you're going to work this week? Is there any one match in particular that you are looking forward to?
On a personal level, our matchup next week down at CCW. Very much looking forward to wrestling TSF, another young tag team that's been working a lot together. It's always fun to work other tag teams that have been working with each other for a while. So,
agreed. I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah, so I am really looking forward to that one on a like personal level. On a being a fan level, I am excited to see who they are going to announce for Minoru Suzuki's opponent at Bloodsport. Very much looking forward to that.
Ooh, yeah. That's going to be very intriguing.
Yeah. So he's been announced for the show. A lot of people have already been announced. The card looks pretty good. I'm very excited to see who's going to be Suzuki's opponent.
Zach, any in particular for you?
I actually have a couple. The one I seen one the other day, and yes, we've seen this match already, but I am really looking forward to Malachi Black versus Buddy Matthews.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with WWE there's restraints, and like right now, like on the independent scene, there's a lot more more not like restraints in I just feel like there's like they have more opportunities to do more matches because you don't want to take away from the whole show. WWE they're putting on a production, but with this type match with this type of caliber, there's just so much they can do.
Yeah,
and I think they already put on really great matches in WWE, so I know like they're gonna want to tear it up and show what else they're capable of. So just and with Malachi Black, where how he is now, just man, that's gonna be a fun one to watch. And I have one back. I kind of feel like Perch is gonna say it, so I really don't want to say it. I'll let Perch say it if it's the one I'm thinking of.
No, go ahead.
All right, Moxley versus Nick Gage for that GCW world title. I think that's been brewing for a while. Like you would go see Wrestling with Unicorns, any GCW, they've been teasing it. Even they got a little bit sidetracked with Matt Cardona coming in, stealing over the Moxley like shuffle and stealing the heavyweight title from Nick Gage. Nick Gage has it back. I'm looking forward to seeing Nick Gage versus John Moxley for that GCW World Championship.
Oh yeah, it's a big one right there. A great storyline brewing. Real good pro wrestling. The pro wrestling world is like our newspaper. It's my newspaper, and that matchup right there is definitely front of the sports page. It's been a good story, and upcoming, it's going to be a banger. The crowd is going to be in full effect for it. A matchup I'm looking forward to coming up is going to be at Warrior Wrestling. They had a bunch of cool matchups this time around, and one of them in particular is between a few guys who I've gotten to work with over the past few months in particular. Kelvin Tankman against Josh Alexander. Tankman is the biggest beast of a wrestler I think I've been in there with. And Josh Alexander is a legitimate weapon, just a machine. I don't know who's going to give in that match, but I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if it's a first time matchup or not, but definitely a hard hitting one that's going to take place. It's going to be in the gym, so I'm really looking forward to it. And Tankman's on that run, and him against Kevin Koo at the Freelance Underground match the other weekend got my appetite ready for a match like Josh Alexander against Tankman. So really looking forward to those guys squaring up.
Right.
Dude, that Warrior Wrestling card, let's be honest, like that's a lot of fantasy booking matches. Like I seen that card, I'm like, it is stacked. That is definitely a show like I'm going to want to catch the replays on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. next Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure we'll give more of a preview of that next week and the matches we're looking forward to, because a lot of them are next week. And we'll talk about that on next week's podcast. But
isn't it nice that wrestling's going in full swing, and there's matchups and there's calendars and there's shows here, there's shows there, there's
yeah, it's fun, it's stressful, but we make it work.
Yeah. And there's a guy like Suzuki making a tour right now.
Yep.
So much cool stuff going on in the world of pro wrestling.
Love it. Yes. And I don't think there's a better place than that to go ahead and take it home. This has been the Take It Home podcast. Y'all be easy. 1.